Hey, everybody, it's Jim Deedlow. Thanks for listening to my podcast. You can find it on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, or you might be listening to it on AM 1230 WJOB or 104.7 FM. As you well know, I am well supported by the construction trades that come out of the Laborers Union and have been part of the trade since I was a teenager. And I just love it, and I love that they support what we do on the radio and on TV. Recently, the Carpenters changed their name and did a whole new branding. Here to tell us about it is John Carr and Sam Garduno on the Jim Deedlow podcast. Announcement in Northwest Indiana, the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America has officially chartered Carpenters Local number 2950, uniting thousands of skilled men and women across Lake Porter, LaPorte, Newton, Jasper, Stark, and Pulaski counties under one banner built on grit, determination, excellence, and professionalism. Carpenters Local 2950 unites the proud legacies of Locals 599, 1005, and 1485, three locals that have long represented the heart of the region's workforce. Their merger into one local creates a single unified organization designed to amplify member strength, streamline representation, and deliver even greater influence in the construction industry and the communities we build. With several thousand members already represented, Local 2950 stands as the most powerful and dynamic trade union in Northwest Indiana, a force committed to protecting local work, promoting fair wages, and elevating the standards of craftsmanship that define the region. John Carr, the president of Carpenters Local 2950, said this: "The local was built on one simple idea, that the carpenters of Northwest Indiana deserve a unified, modern, and relentless organization that fights for local work, fair wages, and respect on every job. We're setting the standard for what a 21st century trade union should look like, disciplined, strategic, and proud of where we come from." John Carr's right here. John, how are you?
Good. How are you, Jim?
John comes out of these three locals. He comes out of 1485, but basically oversees the council. How do you feel about this?
I feel great. I think it's a great move and something to, our membership to get behind and get excited about.
Sam Garduno in the other chair here, long time with the Carpenters. Grew up and went to school right behind the studio here. What's your reactions here? What's your thoughts?
I'm with John. It's exciting for us. I think it's kind of been a long time coming. And there's no, this guy's from this local, because we've been on the radio here with you plenty of times. And Carr from 1485, and, the Millwright's done some. So we all had our own numbers, and this is just bringing us together. We've been working side by side for a long time, so it just, it really kind of brings us all together and tighter.
The Carpenters is basically divided into three main ones. It used to be like 7 or 8, and then it kind of got down to 3. And now it's going to be 1. But 599 is right here where we're standing. It's 599 used to be next to Hammond High and then Hammond Central. And now they've kind of moved in with the people over along I-65 is that Hobart or Maryville. And then you have 1005, which is kind of in the middle. I guess it would be east of Klein Avenue and into Porter County. And then 1485 is kind of known as the LaPorte County local, but they have some other areas also. So you have 599, 1005, and 1485 all coming together into 2950. Whose idea was this?
This was a directive under our international.
So the international is consolidating locals or just your locals?
They they consolidate and streamline throughout the whole country. And in our council, it happened in Northwest Indiana, and it also happened in the Cleveland area. They had 2 locals there. They dissolved those and created 1 local over in Cleveland.
What did the international tell you that?
I mean, I've been in 29 years, and it's something that we've always talked about, kind of anticipated. But I guess the writing's been on the wall, but we didn't have any indication that it was going to happen at that particular time. I mean, we just had our general convention where we just elected our general president, and his vision is to streamline things and have, 3 to 5 pension plans across the country. And, we've been consolidating and our locals for years. And this is something that happened, I think, here back in the 70s was the last time with the Carpenters, where we had locals that merged into the 3 that we have. Like the local I belong to in LaPorte had a local in Valparaiso, Michigan City, and Chesterton that merged into LaPorte. And then Hammond had the same thing with, I believe, locals in Whiting and East Chicago merging into the Hammond local. So this happened in the 70s, and it's something that, kind of like back in the day when we had township high schools, you had a high school in every township that you went to, and now, you got bigger schools, everything consolidates. It's a corporate structure, and it's a structure that you got to basically adopt to survive today.
Speaking from a branding and identity situation, you have 599 people, which I probably had at least a dozen family members, either current or come through it, and they're very proud about 599. And I have all sorts of sweatshirts and shirts, and I did my high school graduation at 599 Hall over there. I mean, there's a lot of pride in these different locals. How are you guys dealing with that aspect of it?
That's a great question. Our retirees, for example, we've had very active retiree clubs amongst all 3 locals. And yesterday we had a meeting with the chair of each retiree club, and we told them, hey, we don't want anything to change for you guys. We want you guys to operate the same way as you always have. It doesn't mean that you got to meet in one spot once a month. You can still hold meetings in Valparaiso or in Highland. Continue doing that. Just spread it out. And but they've been receptive to it, and that's one thing they worry about is the change, and not be able to do what they've normally been accustomed to doing, and that's not what we want to change. We want them to continue doing what they're doing because they've paved the way for us, and but they've had questions, and then our members obviously are proud of their locals. I was very proud of my local, but at the end of the day, we're proud of the brotherhood and the shield that we represent, and that's bigger than a number that the local that we belong to.
Garduno, specifically about 599. You grew up right here. You joined the union over there by Hammond High. My little brothers, what was he?
WJOB and all the sports things that you guys are doing. Fantastic opportunity, and we love that partnership with you guys.
Here's the thing. 599 was founded in 1899. Now, we were 1923, right? So we were looking around. There's like some sort of architecture firm that was in 1917 or something like that. But you guys were always older than us. So we weren't the oldest institution in Hammond. If anybody knows the history and wants to tell us 599 is going to 2950, I don't know if that makes us the oldest institution, but I would love to put that on a T-shirt. There's a lot of pride at 599. What are you hearing? Let's just talk.
When that all went down, it was October 15th when we were kind of notified, hey, this is what's happening now. And we were supposed to have a meeting that night. We're like, hey, and they're like, yeah, no, the meeting is canceled for now, So we, as a body, we haven't met. We have some information going out to our membership about when our first meeting for 2950 is going to be, and we expect a big show up. But I haven't talked to everybody. Just with your brother, he's a steward at BP for Solid Platforms, and we haven't talked too much about that element. We have so many things going on right now where it's kind of we haven't totally processed everything yet. It's still pretty fresh. We had breakfast the other morning and kind of told you what was going on. Your jaw about hit the table. We were like, what the heck?
So, yeah, since this happened, I mean, we've had to start a new local, charter it, and get the ball rolling, meet as an e-board, and set up our bylaws and get the structure in place. So that's what we've been doing for the last 3 weeks.
Certainly the Carpenters can operate more efficiently now. That's part of the thing, but we need to get to the strength aspect. But you're still a corporation, corporate structure. You have to be able to have a leader, and this person does that, and you don't want waste and that kind of stuff. Do you feel that this will happen now a little bit better?
I think it'll come together, and everybody will be on the same page. Because when you had 3 different locals in 3 different communities, I mean, they're all doing their own thing, and not everybody was on the same page. And I think having one meeting where everybody is getting the up-to-date information across the whole region instead of just in Hammond or LaPorte. So I think it will definitely help streamline that.
$5.99, $10.05, $14.85 all come together. Let's talk about on the job site. Obviously you want all the other locals and all of the other trades and the contractors and you want them all to know this, because when they see a 2950 guy come out with a logo on and they haven't watched this or seen this, what do you want the other trades and contractors to know what is happening?
Just that we're coming together to be one unit and work in the same direction as a unit, and moving forward that we're going to be a unified voice, and we're going to work with the other trades and just build what we have and just keep getting better. We're going to keep going forward, and we're going to keep driving no matter what. We're not going to stop until every carpenter out there is represented and makes a fair wage. And until that happens, we're just going to keep moving forward, and we're going to work with our partners, our contractors, and the other trades, because if they're strong, we're going to be strong, and we just all need to be stronger together.
That word is 4 or 5 times in your press release, the word strength or strong. Coming together like this, how does it make you stronger? That's what it says in the press release.
Because it's going to bring everybody across the region together, versus just having the voices in Hammond and Maryville and LaPorte. And I think the membership being knowing what's going on across the region instead of just getting bits and pieces throughout. I think coming together and knowing what's going on in the community, and we can mobilize our membership to attend meetings and we got data center meetings coming up all over. We need to mobilize our membership to push forward and help steer some of these projects to make sure they happen, so that we can continue building our strength and bringing more people into our apprenticeship programs.
I wanted to talk about work. Does this make you better and put you in a better spot to do that massive work? For sure. Recruitment,
it definitely helps. And, the amount of work out there, everything changes so much. 3 years ago, we were talking about the hydrogen hub, and then, today we're looking at, U.S. Steel. We got a solar farm in Winnemac that I believe we have over 700 of our members working on right now.
What local are they mostly out of? All of them?
Yeah. Yep. They're from all over.
Okay.
But now they're all out of 2950. And then, NIPSCO, with their projected project, I've seen price tag of $7 billion. Things change, rapidly, and we just got to, adapt to that change and see where the industry's trending as far as power and, the data centers and like solar now. 3 years ago, solar was like really hot, and now with the change in administration, solar is kind of, an afterthought, and now you're talking nuclear energy. So just staying ahead of that and looking and anticipating what the industry's doing is what we got to stay ahead of. But the future looks great. We have over 900 apprentices enrolled in our apprenticeship school.
You guys understand that? Whew.
900.
That's a lot.
We're running out of space. We're outgrowing that large facility we were just talking about.
You're going to be like the plumbers and put on an addition? I was over there looking at Espino's thing. And
It's about time. But you know what? They're doing a new training center out east. So they're building basically what we have in Maryville. I don't know, John, you probably know better than I do, but it's a pretty big training center.
Has this been announced? I've not heard this.
It has out east.
Yeah. Where out east?
In Warsaw. They're going to build a training center like ours out in Warsaw, off of Highway 30.
Really? That big?
Not quite as big, but it's similar.
Yeah, because like in the laborers, you got to go downstate to I forget where that is, and they've got this massive training center, and it does. I guess if you really look at efficiency, you don't have to have a massive one and then have another one in the port and then another one in Lafayette. I mean, those kind of things can be consolidated also. So I guess I wanted to have you guys in there because I wanted to get a sense of, like what's happening. But as solar, as this massive NIPSCO power plant, as these data centers, and that doesn't even have anything to do with the big three along the lake, which all have a lot of work on the books. Maybe that's the way. You got to pool your resources so that you can do bigger things. I guess that's how I'm looking at it from the outside. Garduno, you still got to deal with a bunch of $5.99 apparel laying around. What are you going to do with it?
I got you a quarter zip. Yep, it's coming. It's vintage now.
They
don't make it anymore.
Man. You could be selling it on the internet. Hey, guys, is there anything else you want to tell people? Carr, you're the man, so what is it?
I just want to say that, this is something good for the region, something that is a new era for the Carpenters, and the amount of work coming up, we're going to have so many opportunities, and we're going to need to recruit in the building trades programs, and we're already doing it. But if there's going to be a lot of opportunity out there for a lot of people looking to get in the trades.